I'm Tommy DeFrantz, and I'm a professor of dance and African American studies and theater studies at Duke University now. I moved to North Carolina in 2011 after working and living for a very long time in Boston area, Cambridge, Massachusetts. I was lured and recruited to come to Duke, and then was able to move my creative operations down here to North Carolina, to Durham. And so I've only been here for 3.5 years, but I find it to be a really vibrant and boisterous kind of dance community with lots happening, obviously. I think it takes longer to really claim a place as your identity. Now when I travel from North Carolina, I'm coming from North Carolina and returning to it, so now I live here, and for sure. But after 3.5 years, I don't have like families who have 2 or 3 generations here. So no, it's still very new for me. Malcolm Gladwell, who's one of our great sort of research people in the world, says it takes 10,000 hours to be good at something. And if we think of that in terms of to be good at living in North Carolina, it'll take me a few more years. Yeah, so I'm New Here, which is part of a larger piece, Where Did I Think I Was Going, that we're going to share in the festival. We actually use a Kinect interface. So the Kinect is the camera that was manufactured for the Xbox. So it's a video game camera. And what it does, it has 3 different kinds of camera arrays inside of it. So it's collecting a lot of data that then we can process and use to do different things. And the part of the piece that we're going to show, it's processing my collaborator's gestures to produce the music. So the sound is created by his gestures as they're perceived by the Kinect. So it's something like creating a new musical instrument and then learning how to play it. Well, my last job was at MIT, so that's a place where people are always thinking in terms of data and bits and bytes and possibilities for processing, and curious about interface and curious about engineering in relationship to all modes of human interaction. So for me, as someone who was an artist working there, it made a lot of sense to be thinking in terms of physical imagination and data processing together. Technology is a fickle collaborator, as people are. We tend to be, with each other sometimes. My research group is called Slippage, and I love this concept. It's really a literary criticism kind of concept from the late part of the 20th century. But this idea that there's always going to be something left over. When you have this great idea, there's going to be a kind of space where your great idea doesn't work, and there's leftovers, or things that just don't fit. And that's the slippage, where you think you're doing something, your interface is working, and then it fails. And so I've always been interested in that place where it doesn't work, and that's why the group is called Slippage. We want to see kind of the static, or we want to see the lights pulsate, or hear the kind of noise and junk. Like that part of it, again, the slippage is really important to kind of demonstrating what's also always in operation for all of us, that we want things to go smoothly, but there are always things that don't quite. This has always been kind of part of my fun boy, play with machines kind of stuff.